Alright, let's do it. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy John from Project Ellsworth. Last week, my wife and I made our monthly rounds to all of the Dollar Trees in our area, and I scooped up every $1 horror movie I could get my hands on. This time I picked up 17 titles. Let me show you what I got. As always, I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. Alright, first up, we got a double feature of Ghoulies 4 and The Howling 4. I already have The Howling 4, I'm absolutely certain of it. I don't have any of the Ghoulies movies. Zero, none, nada. So, I won't be watching this anytime soon because my OCD will not allow me to watch movies out of order. That's an impossibility. That ain't happening. Next up, I got something called Ghost Stories. Got a nice slipcover on it. What's this one say? Way too much. Not reading all that. Let's see. Who's in this? Alright, I'm already not able to read this. What's it say? Andy Nyman, Paul Whitehouse, Alex Lothar, and Martin Freeman. Let's see. A wicked screen debut with an especially nasty and insane last 20 minutes. It's intriguing. A witty and well-crafted love letter to old-school horror. Chilling, heart-pounding. Sounds pretty good. You know what? The hell with it. I'm reading it. Experience 3 spine-tingling tears of horror to haunt your dreams. A debunker, never heard of that, a debunker of all things paranormal. Professor Goodman has devoted his life to exposing phony psychics, and fraudulent supernatural shenanigans. His skepticism is tested, however, when he receives a case file on 3 chilling, inexplicable incidents. A night watchman haunted by disturbing visions as he patrols an abandoned asylum, an edgy young man involved in a hellish car accident deep in the woods, and a wealthy former banker visited by the spirit of his unborn child. Even more disturbing is that each of these macabre stories seems to have a sinister connection to the Professor Goodman's own life. Will they make a believer out of him? It actually does sound pretty good. At a glance, I thought that sumbitch was Jimmy Fallon. Oh, well, guaranteed that is not Jimmy Fallon. Alright, next up, I got 5 movies called House of Darkness, House of Light. And this thing says, a new conjuring has begun. And it says there are 5 movies. Alright, those 5 movies are House of Darkness, House of Light, The Devil's Partner, Cruel Will, Haunting Sarah, and The Haunting of Fox Hollow Farm. It's one hell of a good title. One hell of a long title anyway. There you go. 5 movies for $1, 20 cents a piece. I like it. Next up, we have an IFC release of The Midnight Man. Was this Scream Factory? It is Scream Factory. This one has alternate artwork inside of it, which I will probably not use at all. I'll probably just leave the original artwork on the outside. Alright, what's The Midnight Man say? Everything that makes horror so much fun. It was supposed to be just an urban legend. On a snowy night in her grandmother's sprawling mansion, teenager Alex and her best friend Miles discover a mysterious box hidden away in the attic. Man, with all these movies, when people find a box, why is it that none of them just... Don't they watch horror movies? Leave the damn box alone. Inside are instructions for the midnight game, an ancient pagan ritual said to summon the player's greatest fears. It all seems like harmless fun to Alex and Miles until they unleash the terrifying spirit of the Midnight Man. An unholy force pits them against their darkest demons, and dares them to survive. Horror legends Robert Englund and Lynn Shane co-star in this terrifying supernatural game of cat and mouse. Play at your own risk. Here's Freddy, right there. Good old Mr. England. Alright, next up is something called Death Sight. This one also came with a slipcover on it. This is Liv Collins, Adam Seabold, Rye Barrett. I'm assuming that's Rye Barrett. Never heard of that dude. Achieves maximum tension. Got some Bird Box looking stuff going on there. Either that or it's just a blindfold. It's probably the case. Mara Madigan is a pregnant police officer about to go on maternity leave, but on her last day on the job, she wakes up to a world ravaged by a nightmarish and bloody plague of the living dead. All right, cool, zombie flick. Should have been the dead giveaway that was a zombie flick right there. Amidst the chaos and violence, she finds Ben Nielsen, a man who is virtually blind, helpless, and has a mystery shrouding his past. Somehow these two must put their heads together to find a way to safety to escape this living hell. So it actually does sound pretty good. And I like me a nice low-budget zombie movie, as long as it's not a piece of crap. All right, next up, here's something that I don't see enough of that I really like. And for those of you out there, leave me some comments on really good Bigfoot movies. He Is Real, Hunting the Legend. I like Bigfoot movies, and I don't know that I have more than maybe one or two of them. Maybe I know of one for sure, but I dig Bigfoot movies. Now, you know what, too? I have that Bobcat Goldthwait movie. What the hell was that called? Whatever. And then I have the other one that's a Bigfoot something. Don't even remember. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to waste your time. 5 years ago, a deer hunter vanished in the Alabama woods, leaving behind only a rifle, bloodstains, and enormous footprint from a species known to a species unknown to science. Now the hunter's son, Chris, his two best friends, and a documentary film crew set out to learn the truth and seek vengeance. Their search leads them deep into the rugged terrain rumored to hide the huge man-like beast known as Sasquatch. As they close in on their prey, they learn the horrifying consequences of hunting the legend. I think somebody else told me there was one called He Is Real or It Is Real, something like that. I can't remember, but Bigfoot movies are cool. I always liked them. I thought they were awesome. Here is another one called Demonic Toys, with a very pleasant-looking teddy bear on there. This is 6 movies. This is, my buddy Ben would probably appreciate this. The Gingerbread Man, The Gingerbread Man 2, The Gingerbread Man 3, Saturday Night Cleaver. What's the second one? Gingerbread Man 2 is called The Passion of the Crust. All right, and then we have Demonic Toys 2, Doll Man versus Demonic Toys. So this is 6 movies, but it's basically just 3 movies from 2 different franchises. The Passion of the Crust. Stupid. All right, now, every time I see or hear anything about gingerbread men, I think of my buddy Ben from Cadaver Club saying that Jason from Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan, when he gets hit with the toxic waste, Jason looks like a gingerbread man. So now, every single time I see gingerbread men, that's what comes to mind. All right, next up, something called Josie. This case has definitely seen better days. Looks like it's been floating around in a flood somewhere. All right. Secrets will come to light. The residents of a small southern town are forever changed when the tattooed, sweet-talking stranger Josie, portrayed by Sophie Turner, struts into town, striking up relationships with a local young punk Marcus, portrayed by Jack Kilmer, and her loner neighbor Hank, portrayed by Dylan McDermott. She quickly becomes the hot topic of local gossip. But her true intentions for arriving in town are far more sinister when her dark past comes to light. All right, so that actually sounds pretty good too. Dylan McDermott's in it. I actually know somebody who's in this movie, so that kind of makes it even more interesting. Most of these movies you find Dollar Tree. Your neighbor could have made them and you wouldn't even know it. All right, next up was the only Blu-ray that I got for myself. I actually found this on Blu-ray for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And there was no way in the world that I could leave this sitting there. It just felt like it was the wrong thing to do. So now I have another one of those. All right, this one is called Absence. And this one stars Aaron Way and Eric Matheny. Pardon me. All right. Expectant Mother. There's a second pregnant woman movie. Expectant mother Liz wakes to find her nearly to term pregnancy has disappeared overnight. Nice. When doctors find no medical explanation for the loss, police treat Liz and her husband Rick as prime suspects in what has now become a missing child case. Only Rick and Liz's brother Evan trust her version of the events. So she's pregnant, and then she wakes up not pregnant. There's no sign of the child, and it's a missing child case. All right. As word spreads, the young couple is subject to unwanted attention and by the police and prying neighbors. Evan feels for his sister, and as a film student, begins documenting her story, starting with a vacation to the mountains to relieve some of their grief. But as Evan continues documenting their vacation, unusual patterns arise. Evan and Rick are horrified when Liz's condition visibly declines, and when the trip spins out of control, they realize that whatever happened with Liz and her baby isn't over. None of them are safe. That actually sounds pretty damn interesting. All right, next up is something called the Paranormal Encounters Collection. This one's confusing. It's a very strange DVD. This one is One Step Beyond. How many episodes is this? It's several episodes of One Step Beyond. 20 episodes of the show One Step Beyond. Then a movie called Maniac, but not the Maniac that we all know and love. Then Not Dead Enough, which is another movie. And then 4 episodes of a show called The Veil. And then, what is this? Another movie called The Boneyard Collection. And then another movie called Seven Nights of Darkness. So yeah, I thought this was just a weird DVD. Dare to Believe, 28 Hauntings. And yeah, it's like several episodes of 2 different TV shows and 4 movies. That's strange. It's definitely not typical. We all have seen those DVDs that kind of piss you off, where it's just a whole bunch of episodes of a TV show, but it's not like a complete season. And we've all seen multi-pack DVDs that are 4 movies, sometimes completely unrelated to each other. And now there's this thing that's several episodes of 2 different TV shows and 4. That's just, the whole damn thing's weird. All right, next up is that I Am Zozo? Or is that I Am... Remember Led Zeppelin 4? People called it Zofo. That's what that immediately reminded me of. I Am Zofo. But I seriously think that that's Zozo. Right. Play If You Dare. It's a Ouija movie. Go figure. It's a Ouija board movie that's not called Ouija, because there's not enough of those. All right. On Halloween night, 5 teens decide to liven up their party with some innocent fun by summoning the spirits. At first, it's all nerves and laughter and scoffing. Then, the night takes a sinister turn. The board reveals truth. God exposes secrets it cannot possibly know and triggers inexplicable events within the darkness of the house. As the session continues, an entity reveals itself. Zozo. And as the terrified teens are about to discover, once you make contact with the ancient demonic force, you're no longer playing a game. The game is playing you. A pulse-pounding, edge-of-your-seat supernatural thriller based on multiple reports of spirit board encounters with this savagely malicious spirit. That kind of looks like Scout Taylor Compton, or Taylor Scout Compton, whatever the hell that girl's name. Laurie Strode from Rob Zombie's Halloween. That's who that looks like. Is that her? I don't see her name, but that's definitely who that looks like. Whatever. It's probably silly. All right, I'll sit that one aside. Next up is something called The Followers. This one looks like it was made for like $15. Look at her. Look at him. So, movies like this, to me, are usually like real, just with that look to them, they're really gritty and grimy, and they're usually like crazy extreme, which I always find interesting. Or, the other end of the spectrum, they're god-awful terrible, and I make it through about 14 minutes of it before I turn it off. Be careful what you share online. Brooke and Caleb, a social media celebrity couple, are celebrating their anniversary on a camping trip deep in the woods. Stay the hell out of the woods, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing good comes out of the woods. They plan on recording the entire trip for their fans, and Caleb even has a surprise for her to make the weekend extra special. But they are not alone. Helpless and cut off from all communication, Brooke and Caleb are being followed by Nick and Jake, two aspiring filmmakers hell-bent on filming a documentary on how easy it is to track someone down through social media and kill them. So, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on this. Like I said, things like that turn out one of two ways, and the two ways are extreme. They're usually really, really good and interesting, with crazy, over-the-top, like, brutality in them, or just plain old stupid. Hopefully that one's not plain old stupid. Alright, next up, we have Anne. And this is Dolls Can Be Deadly. We have another scary doll movie. Look at that. Isn't she precious? Oh, so sweet. Alright, from the producer of Friday the 13th, The Curse of Jason. Alright, now listen. I've been watching horror movies for 40 years. I'm not aware of anything called The Curse of Jason. Whatever. A mentally ill woman with a severe personality disorder develops a strange relationship with her dolls as she grows further apart from her son and family. Anne's sickness rapidly advances. She becomes victim to insomnia and even self-mutilation, leaving her son to uncover the strange truth behind Anne's illness. All right, so now I'm going to have to go Google. What the hell is The Curse of Jason? All right. Next up is Red Summer. This is a duplicate buy. I couldn't remember whether I had this or not, and then I got home and realized that I do. All right. A group of friends travel to Mallorca. Where the hell is Mallorca? Mallorca to enjoy their idyllic holiday. Unfortunately, their search for sun, beaches, and fun only leads them to the most inhospitable place on the island. This, using big words today. Good on you, John. This will be the beginning of their nightmare. So yeah, every time I think of people that are going away to like vacation somewhere, young carefree kids going to party on the beach and all that shit, I always think of touristas. It's where my mind goes 100% of the time. All right, next up is this caught my attention too. The Possession Experiment. That chick right there just looks wholesome. I like that. All right. Brandon has always been drawn to the supernatural, so when asked to pick a topic to base a final world theory class project on, he decides to explore the dark world of exorcisms. It's always a good idea to involve demons and exorcism in class projects. It's just my opinion. Teamed up with two classmates, the group is led to investigate a multiple homicide that they eventually discovered was an exorcism gone horribly wrong. Brandon becomes obsessed with the event and in a strange turn of events decides the only way to research this topic is to undergo an exorcism himself. All right. Well, that brings an immediate question. That's Bill Moseley. The immediate question that comes to mind is, how do you choose to perform an exorcism on yourself because you're doing a school project and not because you're possessed by the devil or a demon? So am I to understand, what was this dumbass's name? Bill? Was that his name? Brandon. All right, Brandon. Dumbass Brandon. So I'm assuming that Brandon has to do something to get himself possessed and then have the extra. Looks really, really cool. Sounds kind of dumb. So eventually I'll find out. All right, and here's another one that looks like it was caught in a flood. This was floating around in somebody at the bottom of it was in the basement of the Evil Dead house. The Bad Nun, because we don't have enough nun movies now. All right, look, they kept it short and sweet here though. A young woman staying in an isolated convent turned turned bed and breakfast is visited by a nun at the door who begins to show her true colors as the night unfolds. So this chick is going to stay at a bed and breakfast, and a nun shows up. That's the long and short of it. And the nun ain't so nun-like no more, I guess. That's all the horror movies I picked up, but I did pick up one really stupid-looking movie, and I came home and I watched the trailer for this thing with my wife, and she looked at me like I had 3 heads and was wondering what the hell was wrong with me. I picked up something called Happy Yummy Chicken. This movie looks just as silly as it sounds. Watch the trailer for Happy Yummy Chicken. I pretty much guarantee you'll agree with me. Sincere, amusing, and an absolute treat. Will hit close to home with anyone who has ever worked in theater. A woman sits in a restaurant eating chicken for 2 months, inspiring 2 men to make a musical about the insane things that we do for love and music theater. Happy Yummy Chicken. I know that this girl in the orange vest and this girl over here, and there's another one somewhere, this girl right here, were all in the Netflix series Orange is the New Black. That clearly is not why I bought that movie. It's a great show, though. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But I just thought this sounded absolutely ridiculous, and I love absolutely ridiculous. So as soon as I saw the title, Happy Yummy Chicken, I pretty much, it was decided that that was coming home with me. And I knew that as soon as my wife saw that, she was going to think I was crazy. So I'm sure I'll be watching that one by myself. Happy Yummy Chicken. I just need to, that's my favorite. I should name my YouTube channel, Happy Yummy Chicken. All right, I'm going to get out of here. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you've been enjoying my content up to this point, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that bell. And if you guys have been going out to Dollar Tree lately and finding any of these movies or any other movies there, leave me some comments down below and let me know what you have found. All right, I'm out of here. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day. And thank you for watching. Later, folks.